those people out of the country.
Well, and it's different, Brian, it's funny you say that, because he gets into that later in the discussion.
Oh,
You get to see
man.
So, did you see that little 9-year-old rapping?
They love them some TV, they love them some King Von, they love some rap.
Hey, Patty, side note, did you guys see that little 9-year-old in Memphis rapping to Project Fat Chicken Head?
I did.
That went viral. Did you guys see that little white little
I
girl?
seen him.
They started off young. To your point, they probably do listen to that.
Now listen, there's no probably about it. They have listened. We used to perform this is using as an example. We used to perform in places in some small areas, and the people that would come would be white, and they know all the lyrics to the songs. Don't believe. Listen, this is not a new condition. That's how they divorce the reality. This is how they divorce their perception from the reality. They live in different realities themselves. And it's obviously, it doesn't make any sense, because all the stuff that they do contradicts the things and you'll see it in this discussion. Many gets into it in this discussion.
I saw a white doctor rap into King Von. What's that song called about Take It to the O? And make this stuff up.
Yeah, this is not new. They've been listening to our music. They've been ingrained in our music, in our culture. That's not new. They can just divorce that from what they believe socially. Or at least they try. It doesn't make any sense, but they try.
Can I just jump for a minute? I don't have much time. I'm going to have to leave soon. But thank you, Patty, for bringing me up. I have a very basic idea. When I boil it all down, what's going on? And, okay, black plus black equals black. Black plus white equals black. White plus white equals white. So 2 out of 3, you lose. Which means, genetically speaking, over time, you will be removed. You won't be. So, the preservation of the white gene was imperative. And this is why there's a problem with abortion. Because you should, if you want to keep it real, just say you cannot abort white babies. You might be in a better position. But you just want to stop abortion to prevent white children from being aborted. You don't really care about all these other children who, generally speaking, create more children. It's like birds. Robin only creates 4, but maybe a pigeon creates 8. Jeanette, I don't know. But I'm just saying, this is all about preserving a white gene. And I don't care if you put it in a political form or social form or biological form. That's all what it boils down to. And you do it with violence. You save it with violence. You save it with war. You save it with power. Dominating. You create an ideal that that gene that is getting exterminated is the dominant, is the superior gene, when it really isn't. It's a recessive gene. And so that's what that's why we are and where we are with fighting, and the white people fighting for power, and you can't really expose yourself, be that transparent, so you gotta put it under a hood. It's just, that's my idea. I don't know how anyone aligned.
It's the preservation of whiteness.
Exactly.
We talk.
That's the bottom line.
I'm curious why you think this.
I just said, naturally speaking, people just got together, had children, procreated. Normally, there was no problem. There would eventually be a combination of the humanoid. So there won't be any black, white, yellow Red, there will just be this combination of all people, this oneness, the singularity, whatever you want to call it. So you want to keep your superiority or your separate.
Who says that people do that?
No, I'm not saying anyone in particular. I'm saying, naturally speaking, if all the races were to combine, there would be no white race. There would be no black race. There would only be one race.
I think there isn't any race right now.
I don't know what you're talking about, yo.
I'm talking about race. It's an unscientific concept. Genetically, scientifically, biologically, medically, it is a false concept. It doesn't really exist. As many people will tell you, it is merely a social concept.
Maybe you want to call it and give it another name. It's not race, it's something else. But do you not understand the concept I just tried to explain? Do you not?
I completely disagree. I don't see any evidence for it.
You don't see the evidence that black people plus black people equal black people plus white people equals something else?
Simplistic equations, like saying 1 + 1 = 2. What's the big deal about it?
I don't know what the big deal is. I'm saying.
So what the big deal about it is whether you identify, I agree with you, race is a construct, it's a social construct, but it is one that is used in this country to identify people, and it is used to build hierarchies in this country. So, I mean, it's not, so while you may be right about that, there's nothing profound about identifying race as a social construct when it's being used. It's being used.
Breakable. What if I reject it?
Well, but at this time it has some real life realities for people. So in the way that it's being used has been interwoven into the fabric of this nation, and it's been, for all intent and purposes, it has made it so that one group of people gets disproportionate access and resource, and others do not. So you can identify it as just that and say we can just. I don't know if you're just attempting to say we can just not choose not to acknowledge it. Well, it's still woven into the fabric of our.
I think this country.
I don't understand what you mean by saying that. What are you trying?
Unlike any country in the history of humanity, I think this country has bent itself into a pretzel to overcome the injustices of the past around the subject of around the false concept of race. I think it's kind of remarkable. I think the rest of the world has followed our example, frankly, and I think there's more work that needs to be done.
Has it actually overcome?
I say that I think more work needs to be done, but it has been done to a remarkable extent, unprecedented in human history. And I believe, by the way, that the hierarchies are around values, achievement, class, and economics more than they are about race. A funny example
Of course
of
you
that,
think that.
hang on, a funny example of that is Indian folks or Nigerian folks or Asian folks who seem to be able to come here, embrace these American values and embrace the American system and emerge on top, even on top of so-called white folks.
Well, there's a reason.
They still face racism. You don't understand that.
Say that again?
They face extreme racism as well.
I don't say that they don't to hold them back.
That's also a racist argument, because you have to consider who's coming from these places. They're also coming from places where they are not. They are of the affluent of the people of their nations.
Not the Asians.
Yes, they are.
They
What are
come
you
with
talking
nothing in their pocket.
That's not true. That's a false. That's a false
I
premise.
know them. I
Either
work
you're
with
just
them.
lying. Well, that's anecdotal, Norm.
No, it's not.
But the reality is, if we look at numbers and it's not
Journalistic.
It's not journalistic. It's
that's
not
my
journalistic at
profession.
all.
Journalism is my profession.
Well, I don't care. I wouldn't care what your profession is. Norm. It doesn't matter.
Actually, the poorest people in New York are Asians. They're not anybody else. That's a
But see,
fact.
but Asians runs the gamut, though. It's the Asians encompass more than just Asians encompass a large ethnic group.
But that doesn't refute my claim.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
It does, because those people are coming from places where they are not. They are coming from places where they don't have the same circumstances. Not only that, but they have not been. They have not been subject to the same things that the indigenous, indigenous.
Sometimes it's been worse. We have
It is
photos
not.
of it. Yeah,
It's not. And you're and the notion that you're just willing to die on that hill to make this up
Not dying.
is the reason why we don't make progress on this front, is because people like yourself aren't willing to be honest about what actually is, though you claim that you are, but it's actually in bad
I
faith.
think you're being dishonest.
I'm not being dishonest at all. I have no reason
Come
to
to an
be bad. I have no reason. There would be no incentive
Sure,
for
it's
me to be
self-serving.
Sure, it's
You're
not.
making it self-serving.
No, it's
That's
not.
the reason.
Mine can be. I can actually provide empirical evidence. You can't.
Of course I can. That's my
No, you can't. Then do it. Then do it, because that's a big tenet with you. You say a lot of things, but you don't provide a lot of proof. So prove to me. So let's do this. Let's do this. Let's prove that the disproportionate amount, and just this, Norm, not all of the peripheral bullshit. I'm saying prove to me that the people that come disproportionately, specifically from Asia, aren't the best of people from Asia, aren't the affluent people from Asia that come with good schooling and come from good backgrounds to come here to work.
I'm saying no schooling and no English. And the Chinatown
It's not schooling. Of course they don't speak, and many of them
no
do speak English.
and no English. And the
Okay,
Chinatowns of New York are the great
I'm not
Chinese
talking about New York, Norm. I'm talking about
Why not?
Asia, the country
We
over.
need a laboratory. So let's look at
Where the country is the laboratory, Norm. The country is a laboratory. So prove to us that Asians in general, not just those that choose to go to New York, Norm. I'm talking about Asians in general, because we're not just talking about black people in Georgia either.
All right.
This is the problem with arguments with you. Is that it's not even faith. You're just trying to be an asshole. That's what you're really trying to do.
We're gonna have a discussion. Hold on. We're gonna have a back and wait. With 1 second. 1 second. If Quinn, you're gonna go back and forth with Norm. You're gonna speak. You're gonna be allowed to speak without interruptions, and then Norm is going to be allowed to speak. And I see you. They're gonna have a back and forth, and then people are gonna be able to. Other people are gonna chime in. Maybe put like a hand emoji or something. But go ahead, Quinn. Go, and then Norm. Norm, if I see you, get off your mic. You're going to the goo. All right, I have a meeting in 2 minutes, so please just stop acting a fool. All right, go.
Norm thinks because his demeanor is not elevated that he's not saying foolish things. So so this is what I'd like you to do. Very simple. Prove to us that the people that you're talking about from Asia, I'm being very specific, Norm, the people that come from Asia that migrate here are not among the best people and not among the best, most affluent people that come. I'm not talking about the language that they speak, because some of them do speak English because they learn it in their country. So I don't care about that. And it's not relevant to this conversation. I'm saying that the people that come here are not of the affluent people that come from Asia. They're not their most educated. They're not their most affluent. Go.
So you made a personal attack.
I did not personally attack you.
Wait a second, my turn. Mute up. You made a personal attack. Norm thinks. You don't know what I think unless I tell you what I think. Point A. Point B. Let's take a population and look into their demographics. So I made a statement based on my vast journalistic professional experience. And now we can look at the data. So, blah, 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 blah. I asked AI to get a quick answer for the demographics of the Asian immigration to this country over the past 30 years. What's their profile? Haven't got the answer yet. Looking for it now because it seems as though you want statistical data, but it's coming up. And If you like, we can agree on the question.
Sir, I would really just like you to answer all the
Why are you
bullshit
interrupting?
around it.
Why are you breaking
you're
the rules and
pontificating,
interrupting?
Norm.
No, that's a personal attack.
It's not a personal attack. I'm asking you to get to the
Yes,
point.
you're interrupting with a personal attack. That's a double loss for you. So let's try to get you to the winning column by agreeing on the question, as I was just
I'm not
saying.
going to agree on the question. I ask you a question. I'm
Okay.
asking you to answer it. It's pretty
You're
rudimentary.
still interrupting, which I guess you're just conceding. I will take your concession. I'll take the W, and let's move on. Obviously, you don't want me to talk after I was quiet during yours, so you don't also.
You have to give us the AI answer, which should have been done by now. Fucking shit. It doesn't
I
take
beg
this
your
long for
pardon.
AI to come up with statistics.
Please tell me.
So
AI should have the answer.
A-Rod.
So since it's over and we're not letting Norm talk, I'll give you the answer. So the answer is, and I'll tell. So I looked in Google Scholar, which is faster. I don't know why people use that other bullshit, but the Google Scholar says that many Asians who migrate to the United States or Western countries do tend to come from more educated and relatively affluent segments of their home countries.
He's right, I just looked it up.
Here is a breakdown of why that perception
So you
holds
said,
true.
you didn't say all.
Immigration policy favors skilled migrants.
Norm, it says the majority. It says the majority
Put the link in the chat. Put the link in the chat. Put the link
It
in
says
the
the
chat.
majority of
Yeah.
the United States arrive with more education and money.
Uh-huh. Where do they come from?
Okay.
Oh, I have that answer. Let me, if you stop talking, I'll tell you. So the country
We're both talking.
So, okay, that's fine.
I'm referring to the Chinese population of New York City because I have a lot of personal.
Right, because that suits your narrative, so that's
No,
why.
because that's the people, because those are the main
You said data, though.
component.
You said let's go with
Hang on.
data, and that's why you went to.
Hang on. Those are the main component demographically of the great wave of migration in human history, which happened in the 80s. The migration of Asian immigrants to the New York area. That's why I think they're representative of this conversation. And based on information and belief, they were poor, uneducated, didn't speak English, and they got their hands on the American dream and rose up as a result of that. That's my position.
Your position doesn't align with reality, and it doesn't align with the empirical
I
evidence.
disagree with you. You have to
You can disagree. It doesn't matter. The truth doesn't need either of our things to
offer me
explain.
the evidence, and
I'm supposed to see it right now.
He's walking on
I
Canal
have
Street.
evidence, actually. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, AAPI immigrants who have arrived in the United States less than 5 years ago, so this is all quite recent, have even higher rates of educational achievement, 66.1%, hold a college degree. More than half of immigrants from South and East Asian countries, 52.1%, had a bachelor's degree or more in 2016. So this goes back quite a ways here. Recent immigrants to the United States were more likely to, and I can provide links for all of these things. That last one was from Pew Research. This also is from Pew Research. Recent immigrants to the United States were more likely to have a college education than earlier immigrants or U.S. natives. In 2022, among immigrants who arrived since 2010, 45.2% had a bachelor's degree or higher, compared with 38% of U.S. natives.
you went wrong.
So,
It's just saying the last 5 years. That's where you went.
No.
I did the last 20 years. I did the last
30.
Hold on, no. The second point I had was from
Let's take a
2016.
big size, not a
The
tiny
second
size.
point, no, hold on. The second thing from Pew Research I said was from 2016, which is more than 5 years ago for us to do math. Further, the third point that I said, immigrants who have arrived since 2010, which is over 20 years ago, for those that can do math. Okay, this is not 5 years ago. You were a senile old man. But quit. At the end of the day,
Listen, you
black
were
people are rich.
retarded,
Racism is over.
self-hating,
Hallelujah, guys.
wannabe Jew. So, but that's another thing.
I am actually Jew. You are white.
Basically, you've avoided my contention, which I don't blame you for because you're unable to meet it, by looking at the past 5 years after I explicitly said the last 30. So let's look at the demographics,
20 years.
education, and hang on. Let's look at the demographics You
He's a
have
senile fucking man who can't do anything with his life. Therefore, he
uneducated
goes on this
wannabe.
fucking
I will
advertisement.
say it again. Let's look together at the economics and education of the greatest wave of migration
We can actually get back to
in history, which is from Asia in the last 30 years. Let's look at it together.
It's
Make it the
uninteresting,
last
brother.
20 years.
We can
Can we come back to the video,
We
please?
can go back to the video.
Hey, if you want to concede, I'll take the W.
Well, that's fine. You won. You got it.
Thank you.
So let's play
Hold
this.
on. I'm muted.
Okay.
Hey, before we go any further, we want to take a moment to say thanks so much to Straight Arrow News for powering the fact checks in this video. Straight Arrow News is on a mission to raise the bar on journalism in a time of media bias and mistrust. Straight Arrow News helps you quickly find trusted information you need to understand the news, allowing you to dive deep into the topics that matter to you and the world around you. Their work is trying to break the bias bubble, helping you understand how every side of the political spectrum is reporting on a story so you get a full picture of the news. That's why we're so happy to be partnering with Straight Arrow News. They deliver the facts, unbiased, balanced, designed to make sense of a complex world, giving you the clarity you deserve and news you can trust. Go to san.com/surrounded or click the link in the description to check it out. By clicking that link, you're not just supporting this channel. You also take advantage of a better way to get the news. Welcome back to Trustworthy Journalism. Thanks again to Straight Arrow News for partnering with us on this episode. Now, let's get into it.
My next claim, immigrants overall are good for America. Hi, how are you?
Oh, nice to meet you.
Oh, Lord. One second.
Is this Norm that's going to end this next segment?
Is what?
So in regards to
Norm in this next segment?
you're more about helping Americans
It's a
or
white
immigrants in
male.
this claim.
Immigrants are Americans. I'm an immigrant. I'm
Fine.
American.
Well, immigrants are not Americans. Americans are the people that were born here.
That's not true. What's the basis of your claim?
Are you talking about people that get naturalized in the process of becoming American?
14th Amendment. Have you read it?
Okay, yes, I have.
Citizenship clause. It
so
says
I'm-
any persons born or naturalized in the United States are citizens of the United States.
I'm aware of that.
There's about 40 to 50 million naturalized
I'm
Americans
aware
in
of
this
that.
country.
Yes, but
You didn't seem aware of it because you said Americans versus immigrants.
but are you understanding that the process of getting all these immigrants that come in here we've been also, the millions of immigrants, it's up to the millions, it's for the last 20 years now, and it has dramatically affected Americans here in the country, which
Positively, I would argue.
people like me and everyone around here, we cannot find homes or even get jobs within our own fields that we go to college for, that we get into debt for. And because more blue collar work, especially in construction, agriculture and so forth, and the hospitality industry, we cannot get jobs in those fields. So it would
Are you
require
looking for a
us.
job in
I
construction?
am not, no. I went to college. Many people here are in college or went to college, but we can't even find jobs in our fields. Also because of the H-1B visa program as well. But in regards to just your claim about immigrants specifically, we can't even get jobs to pay for housing.
Unemployment is at a record low right now, even under Donald Trump. And I'm not a Donald Trump fan, but I would say unemployment under both Biden and Trump has been at record low levels.
Okay, is this in regards for American citizens?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm unaware of that statistic, but from what I see, from what I can
I'm an
see
immigrant
here,
and an American, and I employ many American citizens,
and
both naturalized and the ones born here.
and
I employ
my parents came
Americans as defined by you.
my parents came as immigrants to become naturalized, so I'm not necessarily opposed
Oh, wow.
to immigrants.
So you're the child of immigrants.
Correct. I'm a child of immigrants. I was
But
born
you don't accept that immigrants are Americans.
not at this moment.
So your parents are not American.
Not at this moment.
Hold
No,
on, your parents
they're
are not American.
citizens. They became
You
naturalized.
just said you can't be citizens by being naturalized.
No, I was born here, and I'm not
You're
opposed to
born here, right?
naturalization. I
But
never
are
said
your
that I'm
parents-
against naturalization.
Are you against naturalization?
No, I never said I was against
You did.
naturalization.
Yeah, everyone was here. They can play it back on YouTube. You said Americans or immigrants. Are your parents Americans or immigrants?
No, my parents are United States citizens.
But they're immigrants, you said.
No, they came here as immigrants. However, but
So they
I want
are
to make the
immigrants.
claim
You
that
said,
we
I
can't
came
even.
here as an immigrant. I'm an
But
immigrant.
at this point, when they came, the United
People
States
are happy with the way
economy,
this is going for you.
the United States economy was not at.
It's better now. The American economy is better than it's been
Not
for
from
many
the,
years.
not from
And
the
I can
statistics
say that
I
as
see.
someone who
We
doesn't
have,
like Donald Trump.
we're
Which
giving
statistics do you see?
billions of dollars
Which
to
statistics
people
do you
of
see?
minorities as well as
The reason the economy is doing badly now
that
is
we
Donald
can
Trump's
never
tariff
get to
policy.
loans. We can't even
Nothing to
get
do with migrants.
businesses.
In fact, the
We can't even
congressional...
start businesses.
I'm an immigrant. I started a business.
No, I understand because the SBA is giving people billions of loans. They're giving them billions.
I didn't take any loans.
I'm not saying you did, but I'm
Okay,
saying
well,
that
I did.
statistically speaking, they're giving billions of
So
loans.
should we do
to people.
statistics? According to statistics, immigrants immigrants are 80% more likely to be entrepreneurs than native-born Americans.
Sure,
More likely to start businesses
I'm aware of
and
that.
hire Americans.
No, I'm aware of that.
Immigrants
But
are
we
more
also-
likely to pay in taxes than take out in benefits.
And
They're more likely to add to innovation and jobs and wages. This is what the statistics show. The Congressional Budget Office.
understand- I
Let me just finish my
understand
point and I'll let you come back
Okay,
in.
go ahead.
The Congressional Budget Office, which is bipartisan, Republicans and Democrats both use it. They have said that the immigration surge you mentioned will lead to an extra $9 trillion of GDP over the next 10 years. That amounts to $65,000 per American household. That's $65,000 for each and every one of you holding up a red flag.
Okay, I understand.
All right,
but
pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your
Nice to
seat.
meet you.
nice to meet you. Thank you.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Eddie. What's going on, man? Nice to meet you. All right, so first before I start, I need to know what you mean by good. I can talk about the economy, I can talk about culture, I can talk about all those things. I need to know what you mean. All of them. I'm saying immigrants are good for the economy. They're good for
The lower
culture.
wages are
They're
good
good
for the
for
economy.
society. Where's the lower wages?
What do you mean, where's the lower wages?
Where's the lower wages?
Yeah, so you can
What's
look
the basis for saying they're low wages?
Sure, so you can look at like the STEM industry. It's been in like a complete and total recession. There's been tons of studies like from the Economic Policy Institute that shows that like companies like Tesla, companies from like Silicon Valley, they engaged in mass firing of workers, around 35,000, but then they hired around 12,000 H-1B visas, and it's kind of just standard economic thinking.
It's not standard economic. The vast majority of economists and economic studies suggest that there is a negligible, if no impact on wages over time.
That's not
from immigrants. In fact, your colleague mentioned earlier construction. There is actually evidence in construction, yes, but in some industries, in some areas, there is an impact. But overall, no. In fact, a study from the National Bureau of Economic Research found that migrants since 1965 have raised wages
Who's that
and
by?
raised innovation.
Who's that by?
National Bureau of Economic Research.
No, hold on. That's where you publish studies. I'm
Yes, I memorize the names of the authors.
I know you did, right?
You give me the authors you've got.
Hold on. The study you're talking about is from Giovanni Perry, and what he did is he didn't account for aggregation issues, nor did he.
Vast majority of studies.
Let me speak,
Please.
Yeah, thank you, right? So listen, he didn't account for aggregation issues, right? And when you look at like the spatial approaches, what all these economists use, you're not accounting for the fact that when immigrants come into an area, natives leave. If you look at an occupational approach where you look at the specific firms that immigration is going into, like Kim ETAL 2013 did, you find a net negative impact when there's a 10% increase of immigration. You find around a 0.5% decline in wages when it comes to the specific occupations they're going to.
So
all your studies are flawed.
So 0.5%. Weigh that up against what I just mentioned for the Congressional Budget Office, which is a massive boost in GDP per head, which you're not counting for, massive increase in tax revenue, immigrants actually funding the deficits and debts by paying way more in taxes, proportionately to the undocumented immigrants. And what's interesting about wages is I'm in a room full of, I don't know what to call you anymore, conservatives, Republicans, fascists, I don't know. One of you has probably said that. One of us, oh yeah, correct. I'm in a room full of correct people, but do any of you actually care about wages? Because
I actually do,
for example,
right?
do you support raising the minimum wage?
Absolutely, you can't do that when you're bringing all these people coming into
That's
your
not the
country.
reason the
Yes,
Republican
it
Party
is.
blocks the minimum wage. You think Republican politicians don't vote for an increase in minimum wage because they're worried about immigration?
Did I say about Republicans? Did I say about a Republican?
Well, I'm on a show that was called 25 Far-Right Republicans.
That doesn't mean I'm going to
You are.
support every single Republican
Good. So
candidate,
you and
right?
I, good. So you and I, let's agree.
I don't
We both support raising the minimum wage. Yes?
100%.
$7.25 since 2009. It's lost 30% of its value.
100%.
If you care about wages, we should be raising the minimum wage in this country, not scapegoating migrants who aren't the cause of low wages in the country. You know who's causing low wages? Billionaires, millionaires,
Yeah, and
people who won't pay fair wages to their wages, regardless of whether you are an immigrant or a
I
native
get the
born
monologue right now. Let me
You
respond.
had
right?
one. You had one.
No,
Your one study that had a 0.5% impact. Go.
Yeah, and your study like sucked that you didn't even know who wrote it, right? So like, let's get back to the point, right?
Because I don't need
And
to.
there it goes again. Yeah, let's
The
hear it.
majority of studies say that wages are not impacted
The
by
majority of your
migration over
studies
time.
are flawed. That's what I'm telling you.
My studies.
Right.
Neither of us are economists. It's the economist studies.
This app pays your bills now and you pay back later. Turn big bills into 4 manageable payments.
Assume who I am.
Are you an economist?
I could be.
Are you?
I could be.
Are you?
I'm not going to tell you.
Are you?
I'm going to major in economics,
Are
right?
you an economist?
No, not right
Okay,
now.
so when I said neither is economist, I was correct.
Just don't assume.
To use your favorite word.
See here, dude, this is nothing of substance. You look at the red flags; they're coming up. Let me get
That's
to the
great, but
So
you're
when
not an economist.
when you talk about the CBO, one thing you're not accounting for here is that they're assuming equilibrium, right? You know what that means? You shouldn't make these type of assumptions. You said earlier that unemployment.
I know what it means. I thought we were not doing assumptions.
Okay, hold on. You mentioned we were like at 4.2% unemployment. Yeah, that's counting people who have part-time jobs. That's counting poverty
how it's
wages.
always been counted.
Yeah,
I'm against poverty wages.
You agree again? Yes. If you go to like the Lowood Institute, they calculate it away where it's like functional unemployment. Okay. If you account for things like just people who make around $25,000 a year that fall out of the labor market, people who only work part time, if you count all of those people together and then add on the unemployment, that's around 25% of the population. So when you go, we don't have jobs, we don't have people to do this, and that, and the other. No, yes, we do. Okay,
labor shortage. We have a good job shortage. And when you keep bringing these people in, and they're taking those jobs.
The good job shortage is the fault of big firms, employers. I'm an employer. I can say that.
The immigrants.
Who hires the immigrants?
Yeah.
Employers.
Exactly. So that's the way you bring up these big firms.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. If you got rid of all immigrants coming in tomorrow, moratorium, you think that Republicans and employers of big firms just suddenly raise all the way?
That's what you answer what I said. You notice how you gave us complete immigration.
That's what you believe.
Pivoted the hell
That's what you believe. Is that what you believe? Do you believe that wages? I'm just wondering how naive you are. You believe that the 1% will raise wages in the federal wage if we stop immigration?
They will be forced to. When you increase labor's relationship to capital, okay, and you give labor more bargaining power because you're tightening
It's a
the
very
supply of
simplistic
labor.
understanding of economics because you're.
Okay, explain it wrong.
I'm telling you how you're wrong. Because you're ignoring the fact that when immigrants come into an area, they spend money, they create jobs.
About 1/5 of their monthly income leaves the country.
That's a good thing also because you don't like USA foreign aid. So this is the point. They create jobs into this country. So far, every one of my assumptions about you has been correct. But listen to me. I am an immigrant. I'm speaking from personal experience.
Get the hell out.
I don't even like. I should get the hell out.
Yes.
Why?
I don't want you here.
Why?
Because you come here and say all this bullshit
Why?
about how Americans are lazy.
Why?
You push your left wing
I never said Americans are lazy.
I don't know why you say this.
I never said Americans are
Yes,
lazy.
you are.
You're the
You're
person
saying
attacking people
immigrants
that
have come into this country so they can do jobs that we don't want to do.
I never said those
That's what you
words.
said.
When did I say it?
Really?
When did I say it?
So
We're
why
on YouTube. Guys watching on YouTube, rewind to the time where I said immigrants are doing jobs we don't want to do. When did I say those words? When did I came out of my mouth?
Okay, so why do we have to bring in immigrants to the country if we have people who are going to do the jobs?
Pause, you've been voted out.
Nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you. Nice talking to you. You're going to have to go, bro, is what he said as I left, to an American citizen. Good to know where you stand on immigration. It's not about immigration, is it? That's what it's not about. Hey, how you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Good to see you. How are you?
Not bad. So, what type of immigrants are we talking about?
What do you mean?
Like any immigrants or
That's what I said.
are illegal immigrants?
Undocumented immigrants also contribute greatly to the U.S. I say undocumented, other people are illegal.
So, let's put it this way. I mean, I'm an immigrant too, from Iran.
Okay.
There isn't even a
How do you
U.S.
feel about the fact that people here want you out? Are you okay with that?
I'm here to debate you, not debate them.
I mean, you're all on the same side. You're part of one group.
No.
You've been clapping each other.
No, I mean, there are conservatives here, there are far-right people here, there are Republicans
How do
here.
you feel about that guy wanting me and you to leave?
But, you know, let's
I'm just wondering. Wait, this is the topic of immigration.
It's not
How do you feel about the
it's
guy?
not about my feelings towards them.
Okay.
It's about staying on this topic.
Okay.
And
Immigrants are good for America. Yeah? It's you and me. We're good for America. And the guy over there wants us to leave. So I'm just wondering how you feel about
So
that.
I believe that there has to be strict immigration laws.
Okay.
We have to make sure that the people who are coming here have the good intent of the United States in mind.
That's not my claim, but okay.
So
My claim is about.
so if you just open our borders to every single person that comes in here, you know, that claims that they have economical hardship in their country.
Go for the rules.
I'm just saying, you know,
I mean, it's a straw man, so you're just saying straw man.
no, I'm saying
Wasting time is straw man. No one's going for the rules.
you waste the time trying to cause division between me and I'm
Division. He wants you to leave the country. That's a pretty big deal. I mean, you can ignore
Like
it,
I
but
said-
that's your side, my friend.
Like I said, you were the one that tried to derail this argument.
Derail?
By bringing that. It's even though you're
What's my
trying to...
argument? I'm saying immigrants are good to America. People on your
And I
side
asked
say
you, what
we
type-
should leave. Not me.
And
me and
I
you.
asked you, what type of immigrants are we talking about? Are we talking
Immigrants
about
overall.
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 So,
I mean, we're not gonna, so you want to get me? You want me to get into like particular communities? I'm not playing that.
so you believe that people that come here without
Overall,
any
help the
respect,
society.
without any respect to our laws and our border, you know, are going to be good for this country?
No, of course not.
So you can't say that all immigrants
I
overall.
never said all immigrants.
Well,
I said
you said-
immigrants overall. Immigrants overall doesn't mean all immigrants. Sorry to break that to you.
All right, so we have to make sure that the people who are coming here have the good intent of this country in mind. Agree?
Yes.
All right,
Irrelevant to my claim,
but
agreed.
you have undocumented immigration going on.
Yeah.
You can't vet that. You can't make sure about that. Let me real quick, you know, talk about my background. There is no American embassy in Iran. So in order to come here, you have to stay in line for 4 years, and you have to go through some serious vetting procedure to get here. But I made it, and that process has to be in place because I mean you don't want terrorists
But
to
hold
fill
on.
this.
I made it too. I'm an American citizen. I went through lots of vetting. I took my test.
And that's how
The guy over
it should
there
be.
wants us to leave.
But
But he wants us to leave.
When people-
People don't really care about vetting, do they?
But
It's not really about vetting, is it, my friend?
people should not have
You're in
the
denial.
right. People should not have the right to ignore our borders and our laws.
What about those
to
of us
come
who don't
here.
ignore the borders? Should we get to stay?
Of course. I mean,
He says we shouldn't.
well, I'm not debating him.
We kind of are because you're all together on this.
No, I'm debating you.
Okay. And I'm pointing out to you that your argument is in bad faith because these guys are actually speaking the truth and you're in denial about who's on your side. society, our culture, our food, our economy, our general diversity. I know the D word is a bad word in places like this. I think immigrants have been a net positive. I think if you look at your everyday lives, we all benefit from immigration.
And what kind of conservatives disagree with that?
Some of the guys who told me to leave this place and go back to not a citizen.
Do you think all conservatives?
No.
Oh,
No, in fact, Ronald Reagan, who's a president I wasn't a big fan of until Donald Trump came along. Now people like Reagan look good in comparison. Reagan said in 1986, our country is a nation of immigrants. Our immigrant heritage is our strength. He gave an amnesty to 3 million undocumented migrants. He understood the value of immigration. So I'm with Reagan. And this guy's putting his thumb down there. So Reagan's not popular in right-wing crowds these days.
yeah. Well, he's popular with me.
Good too.
I'm a deferred action of childhood arrivals. Actually, I was an illegal immigrant myself. I came here when I was 10. I'm what you would call a legal alien now. I didn't have any say on my parents' choices.
Yes.
Do I think that they were well-meaning by wanting to bring me over for a better future? Absolutely. I believe that.
Yeah.
Did they break the law? Yes. Do I agree with people breaking the law? Not necessarily. Do I think that there's ever a situation where you can break the law?
Learn languages by watching movies and TV shows. While watching, you can translate words straight away.
For the better or the greater good. Immigration is it's an interesting issue because I do agree with you that everyone is an immigrant in the sense that. Can you tell me a little bit more about your journey?
I've been here 10 years. I'm a proud American citizen. I'm a dual national. I'm British. I'm American. And I am an immigrant who's contributing to this country. So, yes, I'm very much proud of America's immigrant heritage. I'm part of it. And despite what one of the other people said on this show earlier, everyone here, unless you're Native American.
All right, pause. Been voted out. Please return to your seat.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Hey, how's it going?
Actually a fan. I see you a lot on Piers Morgan.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah. So my argument is that Americans are what is a nation? A nation is a geographical location full of people who have some things in common. So I think some of the things typically in history are going to be like race, religion, ethnicity, language. These are some of the things that we have to have in common in order to actually have a functioning civilization, especially in self-government. I'm not necessarily a giant fan of self-government. I'm a Catholic nationalist. I'm not a fascist. You have to have at least some things in common in order to actually have a civilization. And the immigrants, especially illegal immigrants that come into this country now, disrespect us. They hate everything that we believe. They don't even speak our language. I watched after Trump got elected, I watched an interview of an illegal alien woman crying about getting deported, and the entire interview was in Spanish. That is a spit in the face. It's disrespect. They don't care about us. They abuse our system.
So you go from a teleological argument into just a bunch of series of wild, unsubstantiated
I'm asking you, what is
I don't accept any of those claims that they hate everything we stand for, and I don't accept. But I'm not going to deal with the teleology. I'm going to deal with the false claims that you made. There's no what's your basis for saying that all immigrants or all undocumented immigrants hate everything we stand for? It's funny that you said you're a Catholic nationalist. How did most Catholics get to America? Irish Catholics, Italian Catholics, immigration. Much of the people coming across the southern border are Catholics.
Yeah, I know.
So it's really funny that you say you're a Catholic nationalist, but Catholics came to America via immigration.
Yeah, so
immigration is good for America. You and I can agree. Otherwise, people of your faith wouldn't be here.
No. We were here on this side of the world, in this continent, from conquest. We came over here and
the big surges of numbers, as you well know, because you're a smart guy, Italian, Irish immigration waves, Catholic immigration waves.
Okay, yeah, and I'm not even claiming.
Were you against those if you were alive?
I'm not even claiming that immigration is bad. I'm not claiming immigration is bad in all cases at all times.
What is your claim?
My claim is that immigration, especially now, and especially for foreign people that have nothing in common with us,
it's funny you say it's especially now.
Thing.
I forgot your name. My apologies.
Brian. Yeah. How many?
In every era, there has been a Brian who says, "I'm not against immigration, just immigration now." Okay. This is what people said about Italians. It's what people said about Irish folks. Said about Russians, Poles, and now we're saying about Russians across the southern border. Because you're not being. You're a little disingenuous. I'm only against immigration. immigrants now. This is a trope. This is a trope that's been used by nativists throughout American history. And every wave of immigrants has come in and faced the same hate and animus and bigotry and lazy truth. And every wave of immigration has ultimately assimilated, integrated, benefited the country. In fact, assimilation right now, according to Jacob Victor from the University of Washington, assimilation rates based on language and citizenship and naturalization are higher now than 100 years ago.
Okay, let me make a statement first. I think that you in your own person are a complete perfect example of why immigration is negative and why we shouldn't allow people who don't have anything in common with us. You're pro-abortion, you're pro-euthanasia, you're pro-euthanasia. Yeah, you went. I've seen your stuff. You've defended euthanasia.
Pro-euthanasia.
Yeah, on Piers Morgan.
No, I've never discussed euthanasia.
Okay, so my point is that you don't agree
actually,
with the values of this country.
If anyone watching at home, I'm the only guy here who actually supports American values, democracy, free speech, the Constitution. I've got folks here telling me they don't believe in democracy. They're nationalists.
Why should we care about that, by the way?
Isn't that what America stands for? What does America stand for? So you hate what America stands for, not me.
I'm not even.
In fact, all the studies show that immigrants actually are more patriotic.
So the only reason why, that's the Mexicans in LA right now burning it down, waving Mexican flags.
LA's being burned down?
Please don't send us back to the country that we're waving the flag.
I've been in LA for a few days. I didn't see anything burned down.
Yeah, I know the riots have ended. That's because Trump sent.
But it was burned down. Where it burned down? I haven't seen it. I've traveled around all of LA. LA was burned down.
Yeah, it's a figure of speech. Yeah, I'm saying that they're burning. No, they're burning.
I support euthanasia. LA's burned to the ground.
Bro, just
immigrants here what we stand.
Okay, so
I'm super.
So you're pro-abortion.
What you're saying is false thing after
No,
another.
so you're pro-abortion.
And I'm standing by my position. You're
Did you stop or was it just me?
Wait, it cut off?
I think she got a phone call.
Oh.
Hey, Mel.
Wow.
That debate sounded like
That was interesting. That was interesting.
That was definitely Clubhouse holding.
I thought we was abnormal, but I guess we're normal looking. Well, it's the same group of people. Like, I mean, it's not like they're Clubhouse is not an isolated group of people, and it feels like that. But it's not. I mean, this is a broad mindset. Obviously, there's people on stage who believe the same delusion. They just express it differently. No, I just mean the dynamic of when people can't see you. I think we can agree. There is a slight degree of people just be saying stuff. In person, it's much more interesting to see all this going on. No, I'm not saying it's not. People aren't the same everywhere we go. I think we get the point. Yeah, I mean, in my estimation, it's no different. I mean, these people are the same here. I mean, I think the difference is that you can see them. People may not be as demonstrative, may not be as bold with some of the things that they do say, obviously in person, because it has a different consequence. But it may rather have a different consequence. But I mean, it's the same level of delusion. It's the same uneducated, unlearned people who say things that are based in reality. I mean, that's not new. No, I get it. I get your point, but I'm sure you get my point. Yes, sir.
Perhaps the moderators can allow a different perspective. Let's assume that it's been proven that migrants help America and immigration is great for America. It raises the question of which immigrants should we accept right now, right? So I posted in the room chat a link to a book called 1 Billion Americans. 1 Billion Americans. I urge everyone to read it. And I would put forth that immigrants are great for America, but our biggest threat is AI from China. So why not prioritize letting in all the Chinese scientists smart enough to work on AI? Put them at the front of the line, steal every single smart person from China immediately, and then we don't have to fight a war with China. Now, after we've stolen, and I'm about to land my plane, after we've stolen every single smart person from China, and they've settled in, then we can start accepting immigrants from other places. But the urgency to steal smart people from China trumps everything else. Read the book, I'm done.
Okay. I know you don't think that's the exact game plan, like follow exactly what you said, like steal the Chinese, but I'm sure there's some nuance in what you really...
Nope, it's not nuanced. Actually, I've traveled to China many times. pretty much all the smart people would prefer to live in America. America is a better place than China in every.
Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna steal them and just put them all over here somewhere in some Chinese camp. And while we just.
No, that's not what he's saying.
That's my point. I know that's not what he's saying, so I'm trying to go past the literal into like what he put in.
Well, if all the smart people prefer to live
Well,
in
wait a
America,
minute,
what happened to them?
wait a minute. For the sake of conversation, why don't we just ask him what he means versus making
That's what I just asked.
Okay, all right, go ahead. What do you mean by steal all the Chinese and
I'll answer you very briefly. There's internet access in China. Have an online test of how good you are with AI and with science and with robotics. Have it set up in a non-cheatable way and allow every single Chinese person, without exception, to that test. If you are in the top 20%, you get an interview at the US consulate in Beijing and Shanghai. And then you take the test again inside the US consulate so that it's impossible to cheat. Those Chinese scientists that prove in an uncheatable way that they are smart enough to lead robotics and lead self-driving cars and lead AI and lead all these technologies that we desperately use, they immediately are given a work permit to flee China and live anywhere in America they want. They're not given citizenship. They have to live here for 20 years with no crimes and no welfare usage, and after 20 years, they get to become citizens. And by the way, a small percentage of them will be spies. And I'm putting forth that we are smart enough to catch the spies before they do anything dangerous. And I'll put forth, well, allow me to finish, Quinn, and then you can.
No, I'm just laughing.
Okay, Quinn, respectfully, there's ample precedent. After World War II, we invited a huge number of smart German rocket scientists. Those smart German rocket scientists could have been our enemies if they had moved to the Soviet Union. Because we were smart enough to invite them here, we got to the moon and we won the Cold War. So what I'm saying is my plan has already been tried, it's worked, it's only the racists, and there's plenty of people of all races in this room that are racist against Chinese. So many of the people against my plans are racist against Chinese, and that's why they're against my plan, and I'm done speaking.
I get the fact, yeah, because it is precedent. In 1790, the Naturalization Act in America, 2 years, white folks only. Only white people that come over, like Germany or that, you're good. Come over here, white folks, and you can be a citizen if we want you, but not 20 years, but for 2 years. Yeah, we're talking about the foundation of naturalization in America.
So, well, all right. How y'all doing? Good afternoon. Happy Monday, everybody. Hey, Melly Mel. Hey, Elle. Normal. Hey, Patty Waddy.
Hi there.
Hey, Quinn. Grapes. Good to see you. Hey, Katrina. Welcome to the stage. Hey, Brooklyn. Hey, Sunsun. And Eagle. Sweet. We got that. And we got Baroque. How y'all get Baroque on the stage? Lord Jesus. I ain't seen that boy on stage in years. Anyway, great.
Happy birthday.
What was that, Patty?
I think you heard them young white Republicans talking that fascist stuff, so you was like, let me get up there.
We had Matt on stage earlier today, so the conversation has been great. So I'm just trying to figure out where you guys, or what about what Grape is saying that you have a problem with. If in fact the idea, and we see the weakness over the weekend, I'm not sure if you guys saw it, or leading into the weekend, there was great talks about how China is so advanced in this whole robotic AI technology and how America is behind. He's giving a possible solution. Doesn't mean that it has to be correct, but his thought process is like, hey, listen, why don't we hire the most intelligent from there, pick their brains, gather their intel, create what we need to create so that we can catch back up. Is there something wrong with that? I'm telling you what the news says.
First of all, it already exists. Programs like that already exist. Even from Russia, quote unquote, right? They really strict on Russian immigration now. They don't give out visas and tourist visa, but even during the Biden administration, they actually have an expedited for anybody who is a professional in STEM, especially in, if you are working with nuclear power plants, anything, right? There's an expedited immigration process for people from that area. If that program already exists, and we have that for a lot of countries, they take priority. So that's nothing new, and we have been doing that since World War II. He was correct. The thing is that he was saying, I think what was said is that we only allow those. We don't allow anyone else in the meantime. And then when we quote unquote, have all the talent, only then we still pick and choose the rest who we bring into this country. That's the problem. There's no problem with hiring and bringing talent over here. I mean, hey, we're stealing talent from Russians. That's fine. And we have always done that, and those programs still exist to this day. They're working.
Except America is not the star-spangled, awesome fucking place to people from across seas that you think it is. More importantly, because of the heightened amount of degenerates that we have developed over the last 40 years. It's not as attractive as you think it is. You're not as good looking a girl as you thought you were, a guy as you thought you were. There's some people in the world that think you're fucking ugly. That's the point. So those programs aren't new. We've always attracted people who wanted to be a part of the American experiment. It's not as attractive as you think it is to some people, or else they would be here.
We have 50 million immigrants in this country. 50 million. That's more than any nation in the history of humanity.
Which means what?
Which means that they disagree with you.
We are also trying to actively dissuade people from fucking coming here.
Yeah.
Which doesn't look very attractive on a world stage, Norman. So what are you talking about?
Okay, so now we're going to argue semantics as to how many people really want to come to America or how many people.
No, I'm talking about the actual people who do. I'm not talking about people
that's
who
what I'm saying.
immigrate here for opportunities. I'm talking about the kind of.
We don't have a quantitative way of actually quantifying that to make it. Well, but we will have numbers and then we will argue back and forth because there is a set of numbers that will show that there are a lot of people that want to get into America, as we just displayed. You're saying that there are people waiting to get in. There are people who are fighting and willing to risk their lives to stay here and find themselves in not concentration camps, but find themselves in immigration camps because of the fact that they don't want to leave. So there is a group of people that exist. Two things can exist at one time. So to argue about that is really a moot point.
But that wasn't the argument.
Overarching point.
The argument was that Greg was talking about the kind of people, meaning innovative people that build things, people that could complement Well, everyone contributes. So that's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about specifically people who are more innovative, who come to do the things that Greg was asserting that they do. Those people don't find it, at some point they had, but those people specifically don't find this country as attractive as they once did. You are living in the past. This is not the same nation, at least from perception, because you have people like Donald Trump on the world stage trying to dissuade America, trying to dissuade immigrants, and he doesn't specify, trying to dissuade immigrants in general from being a part of this nation. It's not as attractive as you believe it is. That is part of the American delusion. And for those who don't have a worldly sense of our perception of the world, that's what you would think. But that's not true.
50 million immigrants is not a delusion, it's a demographic fact.
But that's the thing. Okay, again, we're talking about before, and we're talking, if you're going to say things, higher history, that's one thing. We're talking about the last, 4, 5, 6 years, right? If you actually look at actual statistics, how many rocket scientists, right? Like, we're talking about, savants. We're talking about Einstein level professionals in medical field, right? People who come up with curing cancer. If you actually look how many of those have actually stayed in our country, let's just say they came here to study or whatever, there is in recent statistics a lot more of those savants and Einsteins that are leaving United States than before. Not saying all, but it is an increase of them leaving, and there is a decrease of them coming.
Yeah, it's called the Trump effect. And many of them will come back and visit America when they're grown and can come on their own terms and bring value, or if America wants it or not. So America should get real nice and really try to win these people over and to try to want to come, because they're making it very unattractive opposed to being in Saudi Arabia, the Middle East, Australia, who knows where, everywhere else. And have whole new opportunities where they don't have to deal with no shit if they're going to get snatched up one day. That's not making America a very attractive place to want to be.
I think we're talking apples and oranges.
Well, for somebody who may not understand the complexity, then I can understand.
So why do y'all always gotta find yourselves?
I mean, why you gotta say apples and oranges? They couldn't see the parallel.
What
Why does he have to degrade it by saying apples?
Listen, I'm saying we're talking apples and oranges because what I heard Grape saying, and then everybody saying why his solution won't work.
He said it's still Chinese. What do you mean?
Instead of building on what you would think would work, right, and how we advance our technology, you guys want to focus on how to tear down his argument, and that to me just doesn't seem it. You know what? Y'all got it. I'm not gonna argue back with people. I don't like when people interrupt me. People don't like when they get interrupted. I don't have the energy for it. So y'all got it. I'll come back later when I don't have anything else to do. I'm gone. I gotta go. I can't. I don't have the energy for it.
You just move them.
I think that it's disgraceful.
Wait, hold the fuck up. Because lady wasn't even here last week. Okay? So what's going on? I understand everybody wants to speak, etc. I get it. But the only reason that you're here and the only reason why we're here is people like Lady, right? That time and time again try to moderate y'all. So I don't like it. Like when you see Lady, think of a red carpet rolling on out. That's how we should treat Lady, because time and time, like she's in here sometimes for hours, day in, day out. And it's like, y'all just be talking over Lady. Y'all just be like, believe me, Lady pays attention. She's looking on the phone. She tries to let everyone speak. I'm more of a fascist, if you will, when it comes to Clubhouse, right? I'm blocking y'all. I go on and on. That's right. Okay? You don't want me and Mel to be in charge. Believe me. You want a lady to be in charge because she's fair and she's nice. Okay? Me, I'm not nice. Thank you, Grape. All right. So let's keep on going. Lady decides to grace us with her presence again. I don't want the malarkey, okay? All right.
Okay, Sin, I think the next time someone interrupts Lady, just move them to the goo for the day, period. Now, I'm going to respond very briefly to what other people on the stage said. My observation on Clubhouse is most MAGA white people are racist. They only want white immigrants, period. And I'm not here to argue with them. That's my opinion, the MAGA white people. They only want white immigrants. However, my impression of many of the leftists here is they only want immigrants who are going to be leftist and vote for leftist policies. And my impression of the leftists in this room, and I'm about to land my plane, Sin, my impression of the leftists in this room is they only want immigrants who hate America, who will burn shit down and vote for their leftist policies. And I'm asking for a compromise where we let in immigrants who, of all races and all religions, who love America, who are going to produce and pay very high taxes. And that's the reason why the MAGA racists hate what I have to say, and every leftist hates what I have to say. Because what I have to say is good for America. It's bad for racists and it's bad for leftism. I'm done speaking.
I don't disagree with what you're saying. I think what Katrina and I were saying in some capacity is that those things already happen. What you're implying is that we should, in order to offset whatever deficiency we have in technology or whatever you were referencing, that we should invite those people, via, as you specified, Chinese, to come here and do the same work. Well, we didn't have to make invites to those people. At one point, they were just here in some capacity, maybe not in large, not in large capacity, but maybe sometimes in large capacity, whatever you perceive that to be. But those people were here. The problem is that there are places that look more attractive on a world stage now. This is what we're saying. So we're not arguing against what you're saying fundamentally, because we agree. Those things that we just don't agree with the way that you're framing it. We didn't have to invite or coerce these people to come. They would do that on their own because of what their perception of America was, which has now changed on the world stage because we have a degenerate and his cohorts running the highest offices in the land. Does that make sense?
So Trump is a villain, but he's addressing a problem that is undeniable. And that problem is the percentage of people in this country who are undocumented immigrants. He's doing it in a heavy-handed and apparently often illegal way, but he is addressing it. The previous administration did. And he was elected to address that problem. Namely, 10 to 20 million people who are here. We don't know who they are or where they are.
What does that have to do with what we're talking about?
It has to do with the way we are addressing immigration. Trump is addressing immigration in a heavy-handed and intermittent
and simultaneously making it look unattractive to the rest of the world, more specifically the people that Great is referring to. That's the point. So the point is moot. We don't even care about that point. The point is
I don't know about we. He's solving a problem.
The senile man get it out.
Listen, you're a retarded halfwit. He's solving a problem that everybody agrees exists. That's undeniable.
What does that have to do with what we're talking about?
Just let him get it out. Let the senile man get it.
I think we attract talent to this country. Are you listening to the conversation?
I'm puzzled why you don't understand.
We weren't talking about Trump and his way of immigration. We're talking about how do we bring talent into this country.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
All right, mute up. Normal. Mute up. Go ahead and mute up. Thank you. Okay, Katrina. Where are you? Why don't I see you? Okay. Can you go ahead and confirm the topic? Because I've been in and out, and I'm sorry, I'm lost in the conversation.
So we were talking about, yes, we were addressing when Grape said that, hey, we are behind technological advances in the United States and China is ahead of us. And he suggested an immigration program. And he said, let's pause all the other immigration completely and only allow the talented people from China to come to the United States because we really need that talent. And we did that in World War II. To his response, everybody says, yes, that's a great idea. But the thing is that idea is already going. We're already doing that. That program never ended. And I already posted a link that we have been attracting, particularly in computer science, a lot more, 75% more than in any other STEM field area. So we were saying that, hey, your solution already exists.
Wait, you kind of sounded muted a bit. Go ahead.
I'm saying first, we're all agreed that we do need to bring talented people to the United States. That program already has happened and it's going. It has never stopped since World War II, right? I think Einstein and geniuses are definitely brought into the United States much faster, and they take priority, the talent visa. And then number 3 is the fact that he's saying we're not going to allow anybody else to come to this country until we bring all the talent in. Well, that kind of sounds ridiculous. You can't just not allow any other immigration just based on our laws that we have right now, because we have not changed the law about asylum seeking cases, which we did because we fucked up in World War II when we didn't allow Jews to come to the United States.
According to AI, the two most technologically advanced countries are the U.S. and South Korea. Needless to say, we're allies.
Yeah, because you're not looking at this thing in time.
We're taking North Korea to task on a trade regime unilaterally. I wouldn't use throw around the word ally right now.
South Korea.
Also,
without the United States,
senile.
It sounds you retarded fuck wannabe.
Hey, Elmore, don't use retarded. I'm sorry, Mons, but Elmore, don't fucking use retarded.
Yeah, you're just being distracted.
That's just
human being. I will. I'll find
sorry.
another.
No, you're
I'll find another word.
No,
I
you're
agree. I'll find another word.
I mean, that's
All right, bye, Norm. All right, let him leave. Let him leave. All right, bye.
There would be no
Norm,
South
tell you to leave.
Korea. There would be no South Korea.
I thought you were.
If he said he's leaving the room, let him leave. Like, I don't understand. There shouldn't be anything else, right?
We're not
Did he say
talking
you were
about
leaving?
North Korea.
South Korea would not exist without the United States. They are our allies. There's no question of it.
See, he doesn't
It's
even
not
address
what
what I
we're
said.
talking about.
Thank you. And so, back to addressing the immigrant problem and then moving it all of a sudden 10 seconds later to he solved America's immigrant problem. No, he didn't. He addressed it, which is a good entry point because everyone agrees. Yeah, he's addressing it, but he also stated, he meaning normal, stated that Trump actually was doing it in a crazy, offhanded, illegal, he even used the word, way. So how about this? We still address the immigrant issue, but we get rid of the illegality person, or at least the whole idea. We coalesce around squashing this illegality and how it's going about. That's what everyone is now, when the benefit of the doubt has been given to you, Trump, and your administration. Go ahead with your mandate, how you're going to do it. Now that we see your ICE tactics, your very cold-blooded tactics, and your ICE tactics, which are different. The ICE tactics using ICE to go out and do these things, and then other people mimicking ICE and police, and they're not even that. But everyone just trusts someone with a badge. Don't check the badge. Don't check ID. Just they got a mask on. Just let them take you wherever they want to take you. We know that's not going to work. So let's have a real conversation and get back to.
Actually, point of correction. Can we actually? I know Patty's gone. I don't know if she's back or not, but can we actually get back to the video that we were listening to? We got off because the video stopped because we Patty had a phone call. That's how this even descended into the madness that we've known it to be now. So, can we get back to? Can someone resume the video in some capacity? Is that possible? Because that's what we need.
Yeah, I love it. We went down great.
I could find the link and maybe.
I can send it to you.
Oh, you have it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you can send it. So I can't. I'm like, I gotta make a couple calls for work, and I gotta do a couple things, so I can't. Well, I'll be in and out, so I can't necessarily play a video right now, especially like a long one, because I have to call.
Well, there wasn't that much of it left.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
30.
Yeah.
30. I got it.
You got it, Brian?
Well, I can't. Thanks to you, man. Like I started. Because watching these faces, it's amazing. It's 35 minutes. Because Quinn, like when she started it, Quinn's you watch it this morning, and there is something about watching these people sit at the table. So I just had it on mute, watching as Patty was playing. But this is it. She stopped at the 105 mark. It's 140. An hour and 40 minutes. So there's about 35 minutes left. I don't know how many other people he's going to be. Does he debate all 20? Or.
Just those within the time frame.
Yeah. So I don't know. But I don't know how to. Patty and the mods, they're better at knowing how to.
Yeah, I don't know how they do that either.
I don't know. Me, I'm old school. I just turn up the speaker and put my phone next to it.
That's exactly right.
Oh, you go into music mode and you can play it from YouTube and everybody will hear it.
See something.
So I can play, but I'm gonna have to press play and walk away and put it in a different room because my son can't have certain noises around him. So, but then I'm gonna walk away and you guys, and
it's just gonna keep playing.
So you put this in, you said you put it in music?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the top three dots.
Right.
Make sure you
The
get
top three dots.
You have to have your.
Oh, check that out.
Yeah, go to audio quality, select music, and then it should play. And then we'll give you a thumbs up when it starts playing.
Also, I can just play it on my normal YouTube and you'll hear it?
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure you put your AirPods on. No AirPods.
Oh, no earpods on. Okay.
Quinn up in here learning. Shout out to Elmo.
No, man, listen to me. Learning something over here.
Talking about advanced technology, boy, we getting it down. From the old guy, make a note.
Yeah, man,
From the
listen,
old guy
never too old.
with the glasses.
Hold on just a second here. Let me get the
Music.
I think that Patty, I'm trying to figure out where Patty was when she left off.
It was at 10. If you move it to an hour and 5 minute mark.
Shout out to the old people.
$100 for
Can you all hear this?
answer correctly. It
Yes,
is
sir.
28 organized
Ooh,
petition
okay.
is a document that should
All right, let's go to the hour and you said 5 minutes?
Yeah, I got it. What is this? Hour and.
My name is Cyrus.
Nice to meet you,
I am also
Yes, sir.
two immigrants came in legally. I'm also Persian descent. Born in LA. Fantastic. Yes. Yes. Well, I am mainly upset not at the immigrants, legal or not. I'm mainly upset at Wall Street. I'm mainly upset at the elites, the special interests. They are the main reason why we've been having this issue since 1965. And I understand most want to do well. There are a few bad apples, we could agree. Okay. But we want to go after the elites. They are the main cause of the problem. And just like healthcare, trade, everything. Did you know, Cyrus, that the top 1% dodge $163 billion in taxes every year, while undocumented people pay $100 billion in taxes? Well, I know where my anger is again. There are issues with our tax system on the ridge, but in a state like California, some taxes are too high. I used to live here, now I live in Las Vegas. Different debate. Okay. I'm saying immigration is good for America. Depends on the people like you and me, overall, are good for America as well. Okay, but it depends on how it's done. Yes. It depends on how it's done. How it's being done in the U.S. I'm not blaming the housing crisis on immigrants, not on wages, but in a state like California that doesn't build enough homes, and they're bringing immigrants in, you have to increase supply of housing. Okay, but this is where our anger is at the political class. The Democrat Party used to have a different stance on immigration 15 years ago. Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton. I'm not here to defend different Democrats. What I will say is, that everyone here actually does think immigration is good for America. Everyone here uses an iPhone designed by an immigrant, is on Gmail designed by an immigrant, is he's on a YouTube show. But this is came to a YouTube show founded by an immigrant. You were there here, but that's a tiny minority. So you all love immigrants, whether you like it or not. Okay, but it is a taboo subject. Should we be concerned about the demographics? So no, Anglo-Saxon, European American, 0% of America, it doesn't matter. Are they 0% of America? Let's say if it becomes 0%, it should not work. They're not going to. Why are you bringing weird hypotheticals? Well, but there has to. But I mean, they're still part of our country. There's culture. There's. I mean, even Britain. It concerns me when Britain is changing, and it's like they're losing their culture. But it's losing their culture. Are they? Are they going to try to? I'm telling you, no one's losing their culture. London is going to be very little British in one day. What's the plan? What's the plan? You just made that up. How do we know? Cyrus, have you been to London? No. So then maybe you should comment on places you don't know anything about. But what's the plan? I grew up in London. What's the general plan? City. I was in London a few weeks ago. Okay. It's a very British city. I hope not. I understand that there are people in this audience that don't like me or you in this country, and I respect that. There's some that don't even want me to date a blonde woman. They want to keep to their own, or ginger or whatever. I respect that, but there has to be a deal made. There's Idaho, there's Montana. They can go live in a homogeneous society. I don't believe in force, okay? And I believe that there has to be a deal made. And I think there's upsides and downsides to diversity. There's a deal made. People have elections, they vote for elections. And right now, there's Donald Trump in the White House, not someone I support, but people voted for him. Well, why did he get in, mainly? Because we had 2016, I'm sure we have 2016, Bernie Sanders. Okay. Part of the reason he got in is that people in this room want people like me and you to leave, and they voted for him to try and make that. I'm not surprised. One of the Charlottesville marchers doesn't like me, and I've met those people, and I respect their views. You really should. But there's one. Don't respect racists and fascists is my advice to you. Well, they have their preferences, That's just, we can't change that. Actually, we can. That's why I tried to come in today, but anyway.
Alright, that's time. Clear the church.
on you.
I was just gonna make one comment. You know what I realized when they say culture, American culture, British culture, for them, culture is the white supremacy. That's the culture. So if they're saying culture is gonna be gone, American culture is gonna be gone as the white, Anglo-Saxons are not, they're gone, then America is gone. So basically culture equals white superiority.
Well, keep in mind,
and white majority.
You can't see him, Katrina, just for context. The guy that Medi's talking to here is he is an immigrant himself. He's not white.
Yeah, he's saying
Yes, he said that. Version, yes, I know, but that's the thing. There is a lot of I see this a lot with immigrants who they actually it's not their skin color. It's it's their beliefs, right? Like he actually believes that majority should be white, and that culture of that white supremacist culture of the United States, right? The Midwest, the cowboy, and all this other stuff. I mean, and it all stems from repression and being quote unquote better than other races.
Christina,
that is actually is important to them, right? Like that, the feeling of, and as immigrants, I've personally, as an immigrant myself, I've personally spoken to immigrants. They think that they're superior and better than people that came here. If they quote unquote believe in the white supremacy, then they're kind of like, I am a true American and I'm not going to be discriminated against. And that's what I see.
Yeah.
And anybody who's quote unquote doesn't believe in the white America, majority white America, and don't follow quote unquote American culture, then they shouldn't be here, no matter how they look. That's the thing. And the white supremacists use them as their little tokens all the time.
Let me dialogue with Katrina. Okay. Yeah, it's a fear, is what you heard. He's not going to say that, but you heard the fear. It's a fear of a browning of America, if not a black. Really, a fear of it getting darker. And that explains, and because he said Charleston. At that, if he's talking about Charleston, is he talking about Virginia where the people were marching with the tiki torches? Is that what he was referring to?
Yeah.
So understand something. That was really, he wasn't talking to everybody. He was talking about Jews will not replace us, is what that was being said. But now there's this overall, so that's where that's so nuanced. It's so nuanced in one sense, but it's so broad in another sense. So, but the bottom line is, yeah, you definitely, the British, and the Anglo-Saxons, they're going to all be gone tomorrow. It's, what are we going to do about it? We got to have a game plan. We're going to have to, bro, the dude said, look, man, we're just voting. Look, the darker people are probably the number one proponents of like keeping some white folks around. So slow down. like there's a whole kind of you might say a competitive advantage on the planet these days. So ain't nobody just gonna get rid of what's not working. If it's working and it's going good, it's gonna naturally evolve into it's all good. That's what everybody's striving for. So that fear, if that fear drives all the politics to where now it's just a justification to just come in and start snatching people, that's where you gotta say, calm down, bro. Like, look, you're not going to just be replaced tomorrow. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? Especially, but it's good to understand the history of where he's speaking from, because this country, again, 1790, after 1776, obviously, for July 4th, 1790, there was a Naturalization Act. Who can be a natural citizen? So there's a foundational history that, to me, has never been addressed. 14th Amendment never really addressed it. It just said, okay, blacks, basically now 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment said now black folks, you can vote, now black folks, you can be citizens. If you were born here, we're going to call you citizens. We're going to call you that, but still got to work it into the fabric of the mindset of the whole country and the spirit of the country. That's a whole longer process than just saying it on paper. And it's still got to work itself out in economics, which we're working through still to this day, and all of that. So I just wanted to lay that foundation, that this idea of making America great again, maybe he's talking about going back to 1790, where you had to be white and you needed to be here for 2 years before you could be a citizen.
everybody else. And he kind of was like, look, that wasn't even about you. When Trump said this, the 14th Amendment was about black people. He's trying to say to the after all the rest of everybody else, he's saying everybody else, particularly Mexico and Haiti and Venezuela, that's not even about you. Don't usurp that thought and just think, now I'm born here. That's what he's trying to say, and there's a lot of traction around that.
Yeah, what's more interesting is I thought, from his dialogue is along the lines of what Katrina was saying, was that he feels the need to respect people who are racist, xenophobic, which is, obviously, which many, suggested to him that he did not need to respect that. And I think we see that a lot of times. We think we have to respect everybody's opinion just simply because it's their opinion. I can respect your right to have an opinion, but I don't have to respect your opinion. So I respect your right to have one. I have to respect your right to have an opinion. I don't have to respect what your opinion is. And I thought that was really interesting. And it kind of feeds the notion that Katrina was referencing, is that there's a lot, and we saw that play out obviously in the election this past year, and that, there's a lot of people a lot of immigrants who get the winning card for some reason, and then think that they have to deny others that in that process simply because of the way that they came about, even though the process tends to be a little long and a little more judicious than I think people think it should be. But yeah, I think that that's an interesting dynamic in that they protect white supremacy because it's essentially the de facto land. Right, so it makes it feel like you have to do that in order to gain closer proximity to whiteness, or those whom you feel are in the majority in terms of the way that they feel. So they feel like they have to protect that. It's interesting that he thought he had to adhere to that.
What is the law that protects whiteness?
Well, there's several of them. We
fucking law. Well, let's name one of them. Let's start with one, and then we can build.
Pick one.
Look. Okay, you tell me. What law protects whiteness?
Stop and frisk.
Okay, stop, question, and frisk. How does that protect whiteness?
So we can move on in the conversation. We don't want to.
We don't want to go down that road.
How many white people have been stopped and frisked? How many white people have been stopped and frisked? No, is there one?
It's not a law. It's not a law. It's a practice which is discouraged. So tell me a law again that protects white.
We really don't want to go down that rabbit hole. If we just have
you don't want to name one?
We'll be stuck having to figure out the answer to that question where you steer the room.
If I can just answer him for 1 second, and we can just move on. I really feel like we should move on. And I think that we had this conversation with you several years ago, actually, on Clubhouse. But speaking of search and frisk, my husband, who is not white, would be stopped at Penn Station almost every single fucking day. And by the same people, pretty much already knew them, some of them because they were on rotation, and get searched, his backpack searched, everything gets searched. But every time I would come into the city, I would never fucking get stopped. And yes, there is such a thing as white pretty privilege, and don't fucking deny that. And that shit happens. No one ever pulls me aside at airports or cops or anybody else. Yes, you can say woman, yes, I'm pretty, and yes, that also exists. The white pretty privilege exists. Discrimination exists in this country.
So
That's
no
it.
laws, though.
Move on.
Okay, normal. This is not the topic. You derail again, I'm putting you in the goo. You're being disingenuous. This is not what we were talking about.
Somebody made a point. I asked a
don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Okay? You know what? That's it. I'm fucking tired of your.
Then, Mel, should I continue with the video?
Sure. Thank you.
I actually have an answer to that question. Laws that specifically protect all things equally actually entrench systemic inequities by treating it as equal. Therefore, many laws could be suggested as protecting whiteness because they put it on the same level. The most relaxing game of 2025.
My bad, Aaron. I didn't mean to jump in there when you were talking about that.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Basically, any law that protects equalities across the board entrenches whiteness because whiteness is far larger of a pot than anything else at the moment. Although by 2045, that might be different. And for folks under 40, that'll be true for 2035. And no amount of immigration policy can change that. But generally speaking, any law that entrenches the current status quo as equal, de facto protects white.
Here we go. My final claim is that Donald Trump's plan for Gaza is ethnic cleansing.
Hi, Sarah. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You too. So why do you say this is Donald Trump's plan? Why do you think that?
I mean, he says it's his plan. Have you seen his plan?
When
Have you heard
did he
his
say
plan?
it?
He said it standing next to Benjamin Netanyahu in February. He said it on Fox News in an interview on Fox. He said it on Air Force One when he was chatting to reporters.
Word for word, what's an example of what he said?
Word for word, he said, for example, we're going to clean out the Gaza Strip. He said they're going to leave. We're going to take control of it. He says, we'll own it. I would own it. He says, I'm not sure under international law how he can own a foreign piece of land. And when he was asked on Fox News, the people, the Palestinians who are being forced to leave, would they come back? He said, no, they wouldn't. That is the literal definition of ethnic cleansing, according to a UN definition.
Why do you
of
think
ethnic
that
cleansing.
Trump is saying this? Do you think that he has some personal interest in cleansing Gaza, or do you think there might be some special interest group or perhaps religious or ethnic group that's, that maybe he received money from them and that's the whole reason why he wants to cleanse Gaza? Or why do you think that is?
I don't do Donald Trump's motivations. I really don't care. My claim is that what he's doing is ethnic cleansing.
Well,
do you agree with that?
I would actually, probably agree, but I'm just...
You agree that it's ethnic cleansing? You agree with doing ethnic
No, I
cleansing?
don't agree with it, but I agree
Okay,
that's
good to
probably his plan. But I'm trying to figure out, why do you think that is? Because Donald Trump's a white man. He identifies as Christian. I'm not sure if he really is. But what interest does he have in preserving a Jewish ethno-state? Why would he have that?
That's a good question. You'd have to ask Donald Trump that question. I've got multiple views. I'm sure you have many views. I'm not sure I like where you're going with your views, but I think Donald Trump is definitely someone who's got financial interests in ethnic cleansing. He's got political interests. He loves the evangelical voters he gets. A lot of Christian evangelicals like to support Israel because they think Jesus will come back if all the Jews are gathered in one place with no Palestinians. I think he's going to make money, he thinks, from beachfront property with Jared Kushner. He said something similar in the past.
You think that's the real reason?
I think there's multiple reasons, yeah. I think financial, geopolitical, ideological, evangelical. I don't really care. My claim is that what he's doing is ethnic cleansing. Ethnic cleansing is a war crime according to the Fourth Geneva Convention.
Yeah, I agree.
It's against international law under the Rome Statute. So we shouldn't be part of that. The United States should not be supporting Donald Trump's plan for ethnic cleansing.
I agree. What do you think should be done instead with the Israel-Gaza situation? I'm not sure what your stance is on
I would like to see a ceasefire in Gaza.
Two-state solution.
I don't really get into debates about what solutions. I would like to see an end to the killing. I would like to see Gazans have freedom. I would like to see the Palestinians in Gaza somehow get their land. But 80% of Gaza right now is under Israeli military control or displacement. I would like to see freedom for the Palestinian people. I'm an American. To go back to the core of this show, I support American values. One person wants free speech.
It really is a religious and ethnic battle.
It's not a religious battle.
Well, yes, that is what it's obviously between Jews and Muslims who want control of the Holy Land.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
What else? What other?
Actually, the founders of Israel were secular. They were not religious, actually. I think some religious Jews, like Bezalel Smotrich, who's the Israeli government minister,
it doesn't really.
he's a religious fanatic.
My point is,
the core of the conflict is over land. It's colonial. It's historic. It is not about religion.
Colonialism is for a reason. It is because they want to steal the land.
Want everyone to believe it's
religious. My point is, why are we sitting here? Why are we sitting here? It's like a false dichotomy where we have to argue, do Jews get Israel? Do Muslims get Israel? Why are we?
I've never brought up anyone's religion.
How many of us here are Christians?
I didn't bring up anyone's
trying
religion.
to pick sides between Jews and Muslims taking over Israel? Don't you think that?
Hold on. First of all, I didn't bring up religion. Second of all, you know that a lot of Palestinians are Christian, right?
Some of them, it's very small. Well, it's majority Muslim, it's very.
But there are many.
I agree, but there's not that many. So it is. Well, it is the reason. Why do you think Iran is backing proxies that want to take over Gaza and back the terrorism in Gaza? It's obviously because they want to Muslim control of the land. You don't think that's why?
I don't think it's about religion. I've been following this conflict for decades. It's not about religion. People who say it's about religion, it's a distraction.
Well, it's a big part of it, I think.
I think it's become a big part of it. It's been weaponized by bad faith actors, sure. But I don't think that's the core. The core is that one group of people are dominating another group of people.
What group of people is that? But what group of people is dominating another group of people?
One ethnic group is dominating
another
ethnic group.
What ethnic group?
Jewish people.
Yes, dominating.
Arabs.
Yes.
But I didn't say anything about Christian Jew in a religious sense. Jews define as religion and ethnicity, you know that, right?
Well, why do you think that Muslims want control of the Holy Land? Why do you think that?
I didn't bring up
Why do you think?
Muslims.
Well, they're Muslim states. Like, what do you think? Like Iran wants to do with the Holy Land? But that's part of the conversation. What do you mean? Like,
It's not. The conversation is Donald Trump is doing ethnic cleansing, and you agree.
Yeah, but
So I'm not sure why you're spelling it.
it's part of the larger context of
Weird
the
debate when you
conversation.
actually agree with me.
What I was trying to say is we kind of have this false economy here where we're trying to take the side of the Gazans, which mostly it's a Muslim majority, or the side of the Jews to try to decide who gets control over Israel.
I didn't say they were control.
America is a majority Christian country. Should we be deciding Christians should have control of
I agree.
the
Donald
land?
Trump should not, nothing to do with religion. Donald Trump should not be deciding what happens to Gaza. That's my claim. If you agree with me, great, let's shake hands.
So are you saying, do you think that America should just cut ties with Israel altogether?
What's your definition of cut ties?
Like stop funding them, stop being their military arm?
Yes, okay, 1 second. That was immediate.
Alright, you can pause it for a second.
You really want to be here?
Quinn, if you could pause it for a second. Yeah, there's some stuff going on in the chat, Dark. I'm sorry. I had to remove somebody. This person accused Dark of something. And I removed that person. I removed someone else. I took screenshots just in case, before I remove somebody, I put the sick shit that they put. Some of y'all need to be removed as well. And I'm just kind of giving you a chance to do not mention Dark's name. And Dark, just don't even speak about these people. If you want to talk about the issue at hand, you can talk about the issue at hand. Okay? No more personal attacks moving forward as of 1:17 p.m. Eastern Time. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear people accused of, touching children's and shit like that. Like, I don't want to hear that shit in here. Open another room. I'm not doing another warming. I'm just going to boom this shit. You people are fucking weirdos. Okay? All right. Anyone want to talk about what we just heard?
That was mostly about Trump's vision for Gaza, is what I heard. Anybody else different? And it was just kind of a debate between that lady and was it religious? It's kind of remedial, in my opinion. But I don't know.
Hey, I'm back here. Put the rest.
Yay.
I thought
Where did she go?
I'm right here.
Okay, there you are. Alright, there was some shenanigans, and I took some screenshots. They were accusing Dark of liking children and along those lines. And so Matt Cool was part of that train. Someone else was part of that train. So I was like, any personal text, I'm not having it. Normal's been very disrespectful as well. He's begging because he knows you're back. He feels like he's padded protected, so now he's begging to come back on stage. So, but no. Does anyone want to talk before we bring El Normal back? Because it's going to be all about him. He's going to keep interrupting y'all left and right. Does anyone want to say anything about the clip that we just heard first? Before his stupid ass come.
Go ahead, Katrina.
Just really quick, all I wanted to say is that I don't think she really had a good argument. Like, there was no debate. He kind of schooled her into seconds. So, I don't see, she has no strength whatsoever to me personally. There was nothing to debate about. And also, moderators, can we not allow people to also go down to such a level of personal attacks as calling demeaning people who are in special ed, please, as somebody who does have a child who's special needs. Like, that's just disgusting. Thank you.
Yeah, my comment what we just heard, it sounded similar to Katrina. It sounded like Luke Bryan put 100% up at that point. But reducing it to, I appreciate the moderator for not getting, he's obviously educated, understands, and he has a nuanced understanding and has a big enough heart. Sometimes it comes down to a heart, and it's just wanting to hear somebody like her getting down into the weeds and just trying to make it into, it's just to make it into talking points that we all know serve nobody, all leads to what the hell's going on and nobody says anything. It's just like, this is okay. And so I appreciate the moderator or the person that was, answering the questions back and forth with the lady. I appreciate appreciate him for actually dealing with it. Great, you know. Let's move on. Like, okay, let's get back to some real.
I got breaking news, y'all.
Oh, let me shut up.
Did y'all hear Malcolm Jamal Warner died?
No.
He drowned.
What?
No, he died.
No.
He drowned.
Whoa.
No.
Yeah. Sorry to bring bad news.
Whoa, I'm seeing it right now. 54 years old, Theo. Damn, one of the first dyslexic characters on TV. Y'all remember when he came out and he had dyslexia?
Yeah.
Damn, I remember that episode. Fuck. He's from Bed-Stuy too. I believe he's from Bed. Is he from Bed?